Yeah, for today I'll probably just look at just like an introduction to the set if you don't know anything about it, and then also traits. Probably not gonna look at every unit. I mean, without the base stats, it's very not that useful. Um, I feel like I can just use tactics.tools for this. Honestly, either one is fine. I guess, Kitty, you said there are some mistakes in tactics.tools. Like, which ones were you thinking of? Or like, what kind of mistakes have you noticed? Oh, I don't know if she's still here. Okay.
Sorry, I was across the room and muted myself. What I was saying is Swain is at the wrong cost. Like he was listed as
Yeah.
he's a 3, but all the other sources list him as a 4.
Right. He has a 4 cost.
And that felt like a pretty big one because like 4 costs frontliner versus 3 costs, like that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. I wonder how that
Yeah,
happens.
Kais is also not a void on there for some reason.
Who?
Who's not? Oh,
Kais is not marked as a void.
oh yeah,
Shit.
her traits are completely wrong. She's listed as like a warden, which makes no sense whatsoever. And she's
Huh.
actually supposed to be like a long shot, something or other, according to yeah, like warden makes no sense for a Kaisa. I think we all know.
Okay.
Yeah, like
All right. Then we'll use Meta TFT. I think. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Um. So
I
yeah.
guess this is what happens when you get 100 champions.
Yeah.
well, they use a file from Riot, and if the file's wrong, you have to like catch it, and if you don't, well, it sucks to be you.
It's weird for sure. Okay, I guess we'll probably just go ahead and get started. Um, so basically, just introduction to the set. I know a lot of you probably have already like looked at some content, but um, actually, let me just pull up what I wrote about it earlier about the set mechanic. Um, so I wrote this for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I actually think this set, even though it has 100 champions, I actually think is really simple. It might look difficult at first because you might feel like you need to like memorize all the unlocks, but I think that will come pretty quickly, honestly. Just because if you think about when you knew basically all the fruits that existed, maybe not exactly like which champions could roll which fruits, but you learn them pretty fast. You also don't really need to know them for the lines you're playing. As long as you put them in your team planner, then you'll have a button. I can just pull up a VOD probably here. Let's just do this here. You'll have this button over here, and click to a random spot and I clicked it. I'm gonna try to pause when I click it. Yeah, you can just click this button and it'll show you everything you need to do in your team planner. So Shadow Isle is just like a really straightforward trait. You just play the trait that you unlock all the champions. But yeah, very straightforward. Basically, basically like you cannot see Gwens in your shop until you complete this objective. Then you can start seeing Gwens in your shop. You can't see Callistas in your shop until you complete this objective. And all the objectives are they're all like aligned with what you're trying to do. For example, you're never gonna have a Shadow Isle unit that you unlock by playing 3 Void units, for example. Like that wouldn't make any sense. So it's all pretty straightforward. When did I unlock Gwen? So whenever you unlock a one, you are so I have 18 here. Gwen was 20. So after this fight, I'll unlock Gwen. Whenever you unlock a champion, you're guaranteed to see a copy in your next shop. After the fight ends, so now it just says Gwen unlocked. Takes up 1 shop slot. Shop slot I think is worth about 0.4 gold if you think the entire shop is worth 2 gold. So technically you want to avoid unlocking champions that you don't want, but I don't think it matters that much. There's also not really that many that there's not that many unlocks that are like easy to do accidentally. I think Dish Soap was saying the only one that he could see himself accidentally doing for 4 costs is put a stone plate on a non-tank unit. But I think even for that is like not that likely to do. You have to be level 7 and you have to put a stone plate on a non-tank unit. I think that like doesn't happen that often. I guess it could happen in this case if I were level 7 and I just didn't have a third item. I could put a stone plate on my Viego. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about too much. It doesn't dilute your shops that much. If you skip it when you first buy it, when you first see it, you won't see that many of them. So you don't have to worry too much about diluting your shops.
What does the indicator on your Viego mean?
Oh, it's just a Viego hero augment.
Oh, is that okay?
Is there anything to prevent 3-star 4 costs? Like if you unlock one that no one else does, nobody
Yeah.
can prevent you from.
They're gonna be harder to hit. I don't know exactly,
Like,
but
what do
I
you
think
mean?
like if you're the only person with a 4 cost unlocked, it should not be very easy for you to 3-star it. I don't know the exact mechanic behind that. We'll probably learn more about, but yeah, I don't think
Okay.
3-star going for like an uncontested unlockable is that viable. In fact, it almost, from what I understand, it almost seems harder than going for one that you can just see.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious what that is because there's an augment that gives you 2 champ duplicators. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it is. My suspicion is it's easier to go for a non-unlockable 3-star 4 cost. So yeah, a lot of them are pretty straightforward. Like the Shadow Isles are like super straightforward. You basically just play the trait and you get the units. Some of them can be a little bit trickier. If I can find a good example. I guess like Silas is a decent example. He's a 5 cost, but you have to sell a 2-star Lux and a 2-star Garen, which are both 4 cost Demacia units. So it's kind of an interesting unlock where I mean selling a 2-star 4 cost obviously is a pretty big cost. So there's some other situations like that. But yeah. Overall, unlock there are 40 different unlocks. I do think it will be pretty easy to learn them, even though it's overwhelming at first. Does anyone have any questions about unlocks?
You know, when you're hovering over that indicator, for the unlocks, there you could see some progress and stuff, and it looked like they were like overlapping. So I guess that kind of means you can unlock 2 champs at the same time.
Yeah, you absolutely can. In my Yordle video I just posted, I'll just pull it up
It
here.
looked like the progress was different for both, though, which is kind of weird.
Oh, for the Viego? Actually, let me look. Yeah, I think I looked at it on about like 3.2ish. Hopefully, I don't know when I'm gonna mouse over it, but I feel like it was somewhere around here.
Yeah.
That
Yes, it's
is quite
25 and
strange.
33.
You know what I think it is once I unlocked Gwen, it stopped tracking this because
Okay.
if you remember on 2.6 I was 18 out of 20,
Okay, yeah, because you already have the Gwen there.
and you get a soul whenever any units die. So what I think probably happened is I was 18 out of 20, 7 units died, and then it just stopped tracking for this after I unlocked.
hmm
So for the rest of the game, this will just
Okay.
say 25 out of 50. That's my guess. I don't know for sure.
And it works like that for all of the traits. You can do multiple unlocks
Yeah,
if, like, obviously the conditions are met. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Let's see when I unlock Thresh and see if I like checked. Yeah, I'm just skipping through the VOD. Yes, I'm not sure if I'm gonna look at it, but yeah, you definitely can do multiple. I just uploaded a Yordle video where I unlock like 3 in the same round. Whenever I hit level 7, because oh, actually, Look here. Yeah, so Vigar, unit with 2 death caps equipped, but you have to be level 7. Fizz is also level 7, and Kovako is also level 7. This
That
one's like.
reminds
Go ahead.
me. Oh, sorry. Since I saw that there's like a bunch that have like a minimum level 7, level 9, blah 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 blah. Are there any that don't have a minimum level that you think are like could be worth trying to like power into? Like, if one does, for instance, if one's like a 5 cost, you could theoretically get it at like an early level or something, right? So,
Yeah,
like,
I
how much of that
guess we
dynamic
can
do you
look at the.
see?
I guess we can look at the unlockables. I haven't really noticed. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some strategy around like, hey, I'm going to try to unlock this unit as fast as possible and like play around like the 1-star copy as my carry. I'm sure there will be some like that. I don't entirely know of any that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe like Nidalee, who we can talk about in a little bit. But yeah, like Kovako is like really easy to unlock. Like this is extremely easy to do. But you have to be level 7. The Vigar one's like extremely hard to do. You can see Ziggs has to be level 9. But basically, I do have Pandora, so I was able to get death caps in this game. So yeah, the moment I went level 7, I'm pretty sure I did on neutrals actually. Yeah, because you get the unlock after the round ends. So I just lost a bit of econ to do it on neutrals, so I could have it on 5-1. I have Pandora, so I'm like kind of thinking about here. But yeah, I unlocked both of these at the same time, as well as Vigar. And then I'm pretty sure I should see all 3 in my next shop as soon as I pick my item. Yeah, so all 3 of these are guaranteed. And then I also just did a Kovako as well. Yeah, I guess we can look at like the unlock conditions. Is there an easy place I can see all unlockable champions? I guess I'll just search unlock maybe. Yeah, I guess.
In tactics.tools, if you go to their team planner, the unlocks are on a separate tab.
Okay. Yeah, that seems good enough. We know there may be a bit of issues, but I think this is gonna be fine. Yeah, maybe we can just go through and look at the unlocks. By the way, I have about an hour today. I'll need to go in about 40 minutes. But yeah, let's probably just start with it. Let's just start with the lowest cost. So reroll 4 times before stage 2 carousel. I think this is very clearly like some sort of 1 cost reroll may fit this unit. He scales with 3 stars. And it seems like maybe he's supposed to be like a primary carry, but he doesn't have any traits, so it's kind of interesting. You could go like any 1 cost reroll and add in Bard. Grace is a really straightforward, just unlock with Twisted Fate with 2 items. I did a Bilgewater video, but super easy to do if you're playing Bilgewater. It doesn't even have to be TF items. You could do like Stone Plate even, and then move it next round. Oriana, same way, but for Piltover. Poppy, same thing, but for Demacia or Yordle. Tryndamere, yeah, same thing, but for Freljord and Yorick is a little bit harder, I guess. You only need a 1 cost, but you need a 2-star Viego. So Shadow Isle, I kind of don't like the design of Shadow Isle trait because since you need to start stacking souls early, it feels like you can only play this if you have exactly a 2-star Viego very early. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just 1 trait, I guess. So Gwen is the same, Calista and Thresh. I'll just go ahead and put these here. They're all just collect souls, which you collect souls when people die, so Shadow Isle, like very straightforward trait here. Let's look at the 3 costs. Have Draven drop 1 gold. I guess I can get. Have Draven drop 1 gold. Draven's just like a 3 cost carry that prints some gold. It's like 1/11th gold per kill. I guess we can look at Draven real fast while we're here. Yeah, after you get like 11 takedowns, gives you 1 gold. So this will probably be after like 2 or 3 rounds. You play a Draven on your board, you unlock Darius. They're both Noxus, of course. So you can see all the unlocks are like pretty straightforward. Kennen and Kobuko are very similar. You just play a whole bunch of those units. Like you just play a whole bunch of you just play a whole bunch of Yordles and you unlock them. And LeBlanc is Noxus with Darius. Still Scion with 2 items. So yeah, pretty similar to the 2 cost. Actually, LeBlanc is a 2 cost. I think. I'm almost certain LeBlanc is a 2 cost. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Appears to be a 3 cost on Meta TFT. I did play a LeBlanc game. Let me just double check real fast. I mean, she probably just is a cost if both the sites are saying that. I know I definitely played a LeBlanc game. Yeah, 3 costs. Okay. Yeah, so it's all, I would say the unlocks so far are all pretty straightforward. Any questions before we keep going? All right, let's look at the 4 costs. So this is going to start being to where we might get where the original question that Kitty had, which is there going to be a strategy where we just unlock something and then just use it as our main carry? Go 2-star Leona. So Leona's a 3 cost. Sorry.
Wait, I don't remember asking that.
Sorry, what was your question then?
Never mind. But if someone else asked that, that's fine. I was just like, heard
Well,
my name, and
do
I'm
you
like,
just
wait, what?
do you remember what your question was? Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I know it's a little while ago.
Sorry, I missed or something.
Um,
My bad.
I thought that was the question, like which one we unlock, like which 4-5 costs we can unlock early, like play for that strategy. That's what I thought as well.
Oh, not. Oh, I was thinking about another terms. I mean, just like ones that would be good if you got them ahead of schedule. You know, like if you unlock a 5 cost when you're on level 6 or 7, or
Yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily like a carry. Sorry, I
oh
wasn't.
yeah. I mean, you're right. It doesn't have to be particularly a carry.
I just wasn't thinking about it in those terms.
Yeah.
My bad.
It definitely doesn't have to be a carry. It could be a tank or even a support unit, honestly. So a lot of the forecasts are pretty similar to the ones before, except it's more like you have to be playing it. Like Leona is a Targon unit. Targon technically is kind of like Threat from set 8. I know this is like a huge throwback. But basically Targon is not, there's no trait bonus for Targon. Actually, let's just go ahead and look at Targon now. Yeah. They're traitless but stronger than the average champion. So there's just no Targon, there's like no trait bonus. However, if you do play a whole bunch of Targon units, that is how you unlock Aurelion Soul. So, and Aurelion Soul does scale with how many Targons you play. But basically you unlock him by playing 5 Targon units. So even though technically like this is not a trait, I would think of this almost as what was that 4-piece traits, like Mentor, I guess? Like think of it as like 1 Targon doesn't do anything, but once you get all of them, it kind of is a trait.
Because it unlocks Aurelion Soul. You're saying like that's like a big payoff.
Specifically if you're playing around Aurelion Soul, yeah.
Okay. Or it should be a big payoff anyway. Who knows?
Yeah. I guess this is one like kind of answer to your question, right? Like let's say you have a 2-star Leona, that's probably gonna be, yeah, I guess all these are kind of equal hard difficulty. Basically, like if you find 1 Taric and a 2-star Leona, then it's like, okay, I am in a position to play for Aurelion Soul.
Gotcha. So it's like a thing of like if you spark a Tarek on 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, it seems like you would have to roll for it.
I mean, you're probably gonna guarantee to find 1 Tarek, right? If it's
Yeah.
just 4 cost.
Yeah.
Not
If you're on level 8. So like it seems like the vertical comps might be easier because you're gonna be guaranteed to get your 5 cost.
I mean, I was thinking more in like the context of like just getting a 5 cost much earlier than anyone else is getting 5 costs. Like
Yeah.
there's some way to get the quest in the middle of stage 3 or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you absolutely could get a Aurelion Soul in stage 3. You need 1 Taric and 1 2-star Leona, and that's it. Leona, of course, is
Yeah.
the 3 cost. So it's not like
Okay.
super easy to do, but it doesn't seem like impossible, right? Like this is pretty much all you need. Is this, and then you can get a
all right.
release.
Gotcha.
We'll have to see how good this is because, I mean, if you're getting a release on stage 3, he is going to be 1-star for a long time. So we'll have to see how good that is. Whereas other people are going to get like 2-star 4 costs a lot easier because the unlock gives them a guaranteed copy. Yeah, we'll see. Go ahead and look at the other units. Fizz, very straightforward. Just play a whole bunch of Yordles. Basically impossible not to unlock if you want him. Kaisa, long shot with 3 items plus level 8. Again, I think pretty straightforward. If you want Kaisa, pretty much impossible to not be able to do this. It is kind of interesting. Pivoting into it feels like if you have to like sacrifice a round to get your unlocks, that's pretty impactful. This is kind of why in the other Discord we're kind of discussing about this set being flex. I actually feel like this set, people have different definitions of flex, but I feel like this set is going to be even more important to commit to your line as early as possible. Because unless you're already playing a long shot with 3 items, you don't really want to be doing this and losing, like more than 10 HP in stage 4.
But can you play the long shot earlier?
You could do it on
And then-
neutrals, but you would have to be level 8.
No, I think his point is
No,
that
do they
most
have
of the
to happen at
time,
the same time though? Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like,
that's
do you
a
have to be
really good
level 8
question.
and have a long shot, or can you just have played Ash like in stage 2 or 3?
I think you have to do both at the same time, but that's a good question.
I know that Mort was saying that like you can sell your Jarvan, Lutz, and Garen at different times. You don't have to do it all
Oh,
at once.
okay. You're probably right then. Yeah,
So
I
that
don't know
makes
the
it a
answer to
little
that,
less.
but yeah, that's probably true. And you can do it on neutral, so you could do it as early as like wolves, I guess. Maybe if you have somehow have 3 items on stage 2, you could even do it on Krugs. Okay. I mean, we also have a limited amount of remover stuff, but yeah, that does change things. Lista we already talked about. Shrima, I guess I'll just talk about all the Shrima units together. I have been complaining directly to Mortdog about Shurima. I think it's too strong, but we'll have to see. Basically, to unlock, you have to alternate winning and losing whenever you play Azir. Azir is a 5 cost, so once you find it, you can't get any of these other. You cannot get any of these units until you find Azir, who's a 5 cost to begin with. Like Renekton, you just have to win in a row. Nasus, you have to lose in a row. And the reason it scales up is each one you unlock makes the next one harder to unlock. The way I kind of envision you doing this is you do Renekton first, so you win 2, and they overlap each other. So that's your first win with Xerath. And since he's your second unlock, you have to alternate 4 times. So then you have to lose 1 on purpose. And then if you win the next round, now you only have to lose after that, right? Because 1 more loss unlocks Xerath, and it's also your first loss out of the 4 for Nasus. So if you can go win, win, loss, win, at this point, all you have to do is get 4 losses.
They do overlap.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but
And that's broken. That seems wrong.
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I've already like talked to Mortdog twice actually about this. It's kind of funny because someone in the show match had the opportunity to do this, but they didn't know whether Force Shurima worth losing like 4 rounds on purpose. Force Shurima gives you a 3-star 5 cost, so it is an auto win trait.
And there's an augment that gives you a 0 on 3/5. So
yeah, there is.
Seems.
Yeah, I personally think this one the unlock condition will have to be nerfed. That's my guess, but yeah, we'll see how easy it ends up being.
I mean, does the inverse also work? Like lose, win, win.
Yeah, you
Or-
could do that too. But I just think like if you do this
Like
order,
the
right?
other,
Like
right? Yeah.
you go win, loss, win, and then you already win the game, assuming you have like 60 HP. Like win, loss, win with a Zirin with 60 HP gives you a 3-star 5 cost guaranteed. But you can go the other way around as well. I mean, you can do them in any order. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I think that one's gonna be nerfed, but we'll see. Where were we? Oh, Nidalee. I mentioned Nidalee earlier. Nidalee is unlocked by filling two-star Nikos. So Nico is a 2 cost. So I'm not entirely sure what comp this will be, but it could be some sort of reroll comp. But it's also kind of interesting, right? Because two-star Nikos is only 6 copies, which is a lot different from 9 copies. I could think it's something that maybe you're just like kind of close to hitting naturally. I actually played a game where I think, like, without rolling a single time, I have a 2-star Nico on 3-1. And then I got a Nico off the carousel, and now I'm like, okay, well, I only need 2 more Nico, so I'm just gonna go for it. I mean, yeah, 6 copies is just a big difference from 9, so this could be like an opportunity where it's like, okay, if I already have a lot of it, then I'll just like try to carry this Nidalee. Nidalee herself is a really interesting unit. Her trait Huntress makes her untargetable. You can like drag their units to one side and have your Nidalee like wrap their backline. Doesn't do it in this fight, but I see what I'm talking about. Where like this Nidalee cannot be targeted until Nico dies. Void. I think Void. Maybe I should talk about these in other traits. Void is kind of interesting because it has 3 4 costs. So pretty interesting, like vertical trait. I think this is like. I'm not sure I've ever seen this before in TFT. Kaisa, of course, is a Void unit. It's, is she a Void unit? She is, right? Let me just double check. Yeah. Kaisa is a Void unit. Just tactics.tools, like you talked about earlier, has a bug in it. But yeah, to unlock, we already talked about Kaisa. Pretty easy to unlock. Have a long shot with 3 items. Easy if like you need to do it. Rift Herald is just Void active for 8-player combat. So basically, this is kind of what I was saying. I think the set is less flex, right? Like you have to be committed to Void from the start of the game if you want to play Rift Herald. Which I feel like if you want to play Void, you're going to need to play Rift Herald for it to be good because there's a Bruiser trait pair in Void. Is there? Maybe there's not. I thought there was. Oh, okay. I kind of assumed Cho'Gath was a Bruiser, but he's not. Okay. So maybe you don't need Rift Herald. Either way, it does feel like pivoting into Void and not having Rift Herald is kind of a big downside. That's kind of what it feels like, but we'll have to see. Shadow Isles as well. Sorry, go ahead.
Question about Void. I was reading the description. It sounds like it says like, oh, unique mutations. Is that like the way like in Shadow work where you got, items, like some temp items, or is it like what is a mutation? Did you get to see that?
It's kind of like Ink Shadow, but it doesn't take up an item
Okay.
slot.
Oh. So they all get like a quote unquote fourth item, or it can get a.
Yeah. It's like Exotech, Ink Shadow, all these things.
But it's not like an item.
Yeah, it doesn't take up an item slot. So I guess in that sense, it's kind of like a fruit as well. But yeah, I think it's very, very, very similar to Ink Shadow. Or Exotech, like either one really, right? And then the entire trait gets some benefit. Yeah, I think this set is not going to be that flex because Void seems like you're really going to want to start playing the game. Shadow Isle you can only play if you start with like 2-star Viego, like pretty much unconditionally. Bilgewater is also a trait where you pretty much have to be playing it the whole game. You can't really pivot into Bilgewater either. Same thing with Yordle. Yordle also basically has to be played the entire game. I guess I can talk more why that is. It's just because, well, I mean, Yordle is the most straightforward. It's a reroll trait, but Bilgewater gives you a separate currency that gives like permanent scaling to your Bilgewater units. Anyway, moving on. Singe. Take 30 damage and 4 Zonites or Juggernauts. Yeah, so once again, this is another thing. It's like if I want to play around Singe, right? Like I have to be playing around Singe in mind. Or I have to be playing Zon or whatever, like the entire game. 30 player damage. Skarner, this one's pretty easy to unlock. Skarner doesn't really have a trait. Ixtal is the new Crystal Gambit, basically. It's actually a really fun trait. I'll post a Ixtal video on TFT coaching pretty soon. But basically, you will get to choose what you want, like what goal you play towards. Like Crystal Gambit, you either lose rounds or kill units, basically, right? But you can actually choose like which one you want to do.
Since this is an econ trait, so like Soul Gambler or whatever, and these things don't necessarily like the ones that you're showing us. Don't look like you'd have to necessarily lose. Is it safe to say that these units will probably be under curve since that's often like a thing Riot does with econ traits? They don't make the units like really good.
It could be, and also like you can see like Skarner doesn't even have another trait. Italy as well also just like doesn't have another trait. Like Huntress is their unique trait.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at, for example, like Kiana, she's Ixtal and Slayer. So basically like her only trait is Slayer in a sense.
Okay.
So I don't know if they'll be weaker individually, but they'll be kind of it'll definitely be like a cost, like a price to put them on your board, right? Because you're basically playing I mean I can show you the board I played in this game, for example.
Since a lot of them just aren't getting that power from a second tag or
Yeah,
any
exactly.
tag.
Like I'm playing a
Okay.
2-star Kiana to get Ixtal, but she doesn't really do anything. I could be playing like Demacia or something instead. So it's like it's costly to play on your board.
I had a question about what you're saying about flex.
Mhm.
Mort in his engaged player video said that they're going to ensure that no verticals are S tier. I mean, does that play into your thought process there? Like, if they nerf the verticals to never be S tier, does that make flex more viable? Or are you just saying since a lot of the unlocks are vertical dependent that it'll still be not flex?
I very briefly, very very briefly said it kind of depends on your definition of flex.
Oh, yeah.
By Mort saying flex, I think he means there's going to be like more end game board combinations than ever, which I absolutely agree with. What I'm saying is I feel like you are choosing your line at the start of the game is going to be very important and like sticking to it.
That's if you're, but a lot of the unlocks don't require like a vertical investment. Like Bear just needs you to get a unit to have 3,800 HP. And
Kind of.
there's
It's hard
several
to
that are
do
like
that
that.
without like user.
I
But
guess
that
we'll
doesn't
just
mean you
have.
necessarily have to stay in it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you've played it, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like you could just sack one round, but you know, if you're doing it on stage 4, you're losing like 12 HP. That's a really big cost.
So there needs
Um,
to be a you want to ideally be unlocking stuff that doesn't involve making your weaker, which that does narrow.
I mean, we'll see. My suspicion is choosing your line at the start of the game is going to be more important this set than last set. That's my guess. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, since you mentioned Volibear, let's go ahead and look. You have to be level 8, have a unit with 3,800 HP. Yeah, you could do this. I think a 2-star 4-cost tank tends to have about 1,000 HP. If you had double Warmogs, and then also like another HP item, I think you could do it without anything else. But most likely you'll have to play Bruiser.
Yeah, there's a few different ways you could get there. I guess Scion gets stacking HP. So if you're playing stacking, play Scion.
You could also have like 3 stars. I actually unlocked Volibear on accident in mayoral game.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of Scion, that reminds me, I was looking at the trait grid and I couldn't help but notice that like since Scion, his unlock is like you have to put items on a blank, I wanna say. But or no. To unlock LeBlanc, you have to put items on Scion. But because Scion's a bruiser, she's an invoker, and then Kobuko is a bruiser and an invoker. And I'm like, huh, that's kind of interesting. So I was kind of like wondering if there's any world where like there's some like I don't know, trying to like theory craft units fitting together. But it seemed interesting to me because like Kobuko also, I'm not sure if that's easy to unlock at the same time as LeBlanc, but anyway.
Yeah, I think Kobuko and LeBlanc. Or are you talking about? Sorry, you're talking about Kobuko?
Yeah, well,
You mean
Kobuko, he's a
Ken?
bruiser invoker. And then if you get put Scion on the board, like if you're playing like Kobuko and Scion, LeBlanc unlocks when
yeah.
you itemize. Yeah, and it's like there's like this trait overlap, but at the same time, I'm like, huh.
Right, yeah. I think Kobuko is extremely easy to unlock. You just only have to play like 3 units if they're upgraded. And then LeBlanc, I also think is like extremely easy to unlock. So it's like, if you have Scion and you want these 2 units, it should be extremely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just kind of figured since they were in like different trees, they wouldn't necessarily overlap. I wasn't estimating it very well.
Yeah, I think since there's just so many champions in this set, finding like a trait trio like this is really good, right? Like this, like knowing about trait trios is very, very, very good in TFT. Like if you know this exists. And since there's 100 champions, there's actually quite a lot of them.
That also reminds me, I went and looked. There's like a dozen trait twins, and I guess that's just gonna happen in a set with 100 champions. But there was, it felt like fun.
Yeah. Interesting enough, there's actually not. So this is a cheat sheet for this set. There's actually not that. I'm not even sure if there's like more traits than normal. So it's like they're putting more champions in the same amount of traits, so there's gonna be like a lot more overlap. Cause yeah, when I opened this up before I saw it, I actually expected there to be like way more columns than rows. I guess while we're here, real briefly, similar to last set, there are 4 frontline traits. There's Warden, which is this is basically Protector. The proc condition's a little bit different, but it's basically Protector. There's Juggernaut, which is the exact same as it was last set. There's Bruiser, which is basically the same as it was last set. Last set you got like a little bit of offensive power, I think. And then there's Defender, which is basically just Bastion. I mean, it's almost the exact same as Bastion without the little complicated. Your Bastions are stronger for the first 10 seconds. So I would say compared to last set, the frontline traits are the exact same. Bruiser is the same, Juggernaut's the same, Defender basically is Bastion, and Warden basically is. So yeah, early game you're generally wanting to activate one of these 4 traits early most of the time. Okay, I guess we can keep going. We stopped around Vygar. Vygar's kind of weird. Field 2 death caps. That being said, like Vygar's passive makes him good with death caps. He's also permanently scaling, even though he's a 4 cost. So I guess to answer Kitty's question, Vygar might be the unit where it's like, wow, if I can get an early Vygar online, maybe that's something that's really good.
Really? Huh.
I mean, he's a permanently scaling 4
If you
cost,
get like
so...
Wand Overflow in stage 2, you can have 4 cost Vygar, right?
Is Wand Overflow even in the set though?
Is it not?
It's Water Overflow is also not on stage 2, but maybe you could get like Pandora's items.
Oh no, Asa, don't tell me this. It's gonna make me click that in places I really shouldn't. Oh no.
I mean, I played this. Like I
Uh,
played
well,
double death
okay.
capture.
But see, you're actually a good player who knows the proper times to click that. I will click it like all the effing time, including spots I'm not supposed to.
I don't
That's
know.
why I'm
Maybe
like,
it'll be good. I mean, it's 2-1. How bad can it be?
that's
They can't
his last
like
room.
there can't really be a spot to like not if it's actually good. But yeah.
Okay. Actual question with Vigar, and I don't know if you can answer this, but since he's like built 2 death caps, what if I had a radiant death cap? Does that count?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer.
Damn. As you can see, I'm already getting ambitious.
I would think it would count. That would be my guess based on like how these, after playing 15 sets of TFT. That would be my assumption, but I don't know for sure. Warwick, kind of similar to Singed. I think what I was saying about like you have to play the line, like Warwick 2-star Jinx and 2-star Vise, like you probably have to be playing Zon the entire game to have this. Just like the econ cost otherwise is like too great. And also, I mean, if you just have them, they're probably good enough to go on your board. Yone is kind of interesting. It's just 3-star Yasuo. You just get an extra unit to go with him. I wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't think too much about this. It's basically just how like what are some other units that unlock on 3-star from previous sets? I can't think of any, but there's some units that like specifically. I guess like Kale had like a level requirement, so I wouldn't. It's kind of like that where it's like, okay, I don't really think of this unit too much. It's just basically if you hit 3-star Yasuo, he becomes stronger. That's how I think. All right. 5 costs. Aatrox, field unit 40% on revamp, and you have to be level 8. So, yeah, I mean, definitely doable. Aatrox himself allegedly should, directly from Riot, they said he should be a good holder for 40% on revamp of items on him. So maybe, yeah, this could be another thing, right? Like maybe you go level 8, you have 2 BTs, you unlock him, and then the very next round on like 4-2, you go 8 on like, or you go 8 on like 4-2, and then on 4-3, you just play like double BT Aatrox or whatever. That could happen. Not sure. We'll see. Brilliant Soul we already talked about. Who the heck is this? Baron Nashor. Wow, what an icon.
He's
Level
like
10.
not a real unit on his own, I feel like, since you have to. He's like the Void Capstone. He's like less a unit and more like a summon you get for 10 Void, I feel like.
Yeah, level 10 is kind of interesting. Yeah, maybe like fast 10 Void might be a line. Not sure. We'll see. Brock.
Oh, they also changed the XP levels to go to level 9 and level 10. Maybe you could touch
Yeah.
on that.
That is true. Does anyone know where, if someone could find those, that would be helpful. I don't know where to find. I know they're changed, but I don't know where to find them.
There are
I mean, I could just
screenshots
pull
in
up a
another
game.
Discord. One sec. Someone dropped a screenshot in another Discord.
Yeah, like here,
Can
7
find
to 8
it.
is like. I mean, I just have this here, right? Like, if it's a screenshot, I have just as good.
Well, no, it's from the rundown where it
Oh,
like
okay.
summarizes all
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brock is just Ixtal, doesn't have any other traits. I have played this unit a couple times. Don't really have strong feelings about him. Like a traitless unit that maybe you can use as a carry. Who knows? Galio, again, pretty straightforward. You're just playing Demacia and you get Galio. Galio is actually kind of interesting because you can have him on your bench. So it's basically just like if you're playing Demacia, whenever you get 12 star levels worth, it's just good to have. You do have to play Demacia in order for Galio to be good, but you could drop down to 3 Demacia, maybe. So maybe like you play 12-star levels and then you drop down to 3. Kind of interesting there. Seems like you would maybe want to. Not sure. Let's go ahead and talk about Silas while we're here as well. Silas is he's not Demacia, but his unlock condition is to sell 3 Demacia units. Garen and Lux are both 4 costs, so it's a little bit crazy. Actually, from this same game, I end up playing Arcanist. So I'm going for like Ixtal cash out. Here I'm using Lux as my main carry, and Garen as like one of my main tanks. But to get Silas, I had to sell them, which is like kind of scary because by the end of the game, I never found Lux 2 or Garen 2 again, and despite the fact that I have Silas, I didn't have Lux 2, so it's kind of, yeah, I don't know.
Random thing. I dropped the screen cap graphic in general tabs if you want
Okay,
to
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so 12 more XP to go to level 8. Honestly, I think given the fact that you get a free forecast of like what you want a lot of the times with the unlockables, I feel like this is not going to change things too much because if you think about like just having to roll 12 less gold on average, I think it's not going to change things too much. That'd be my guess. We'll have to see how it ends up playing out. And then they
Do
made
you think
like 9 and 10 a little bit easier.
so? If I'm question, since level 8 is more expensive to get to, yes, you often get like a 4 cost for free and it's cheaper to, get your 2-star 4. Does that get it? But will that change when you're likely to try to go to 8 and roll them?
Yeah, we'll have to
Like how
see.
that.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
My best guess is it'll still be like 4-2 is like the expected. And then depending on whether you're high rolling or low rolling, it could be 4-1 or 4-5. Um, that's my best guess. Overall, I would say like the 9 and 10 changes are like not that big. Like let's say we don't roll at all on 8. Like we don't roll a single time, we go fast 9. It's only a 4 gold difference. Like, pretty whatever. Um, I guess either way, I would say like the XP to level 8 is pretty significant, but the 9 and 10 seem pretty minor. Shopwatch change also should mention this as well. Um, your forecast odds go up a lot on level 8. So like rolling for forecast on level 7 is going to be a lot worse. Which I mean, there weren't really any dominant strategies revolving around that anyway, so alright. Mel, 2-star Ambessa with 1 item dies, so this is just Noxus. Ambessa is a 4 cost Noxus. So it's basically, yeah, it's just like if you're playing Noxus, uh, Mel seems like a very. Basically, whenever you get 2-star Ambessa, you're pretty much guaranteed Mel. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's good to carry these 1-star 5 costs. Maybe it's not. I'm not entirely sure yet. It is 0 out of 200 mana. That's kind of interesting. Passive. While gaining mana, drains mana. Okay, so it's fake 200 mana. Rise, kind of interesting unit. He himself doesn't have a trait, but he benefits based on how many regions you have. Regions are just any of these on the left. For those of you who don't play League. Yordle is a region. I had a funny interaction in playtest where I was like, there's no indication in game of what's technically a region or not. I guess I don't know if Darken is a region there. But there's no in-game indication of what's a region. So I was asking like, are we gonna get something like that for new players? Because like I could totally see a new player thinking Yordle is a region, but then like Yordle is a region. Yeah, Rise, yeah, pretty easy unlock honestly if you're trying to unlock him. Um, I haven't played around Rise myself, but I've been seeing a decent bit in playtests, and people have been saying like if you're trying to get him on level 7, it's not too hard, and like almost guaranteed on level 8. Uh, Of course, certain units have like double regions, like Poppy, Girl, Demacia. I'm not sure who all has double regions, but yeah, I feel like there's a decent amount of them. Like Vi is Piltover and Zon. Zinjiao's Demacia, Ionia. Yeah, you got the picture. Alright. So yeah, I think like Rise, Aurelion Soul, or I guess like, yeah, Rise is like, you could, if you want to play around Rise every single game, it doesn't seem very hard to do that. Set. Level 8 plus field, only 1 unit in the first 2. Okay, I mean, this is another like free unlock. Seems like you can unlock set basically whenever you want while playing anything. But he is Ionia, so unless you're actually playing Ionia, maybe you are not, don't want to unlock him. That's what we already talked about. T-Hex, 9 Piltover star levels. 9 Piltover, that seems pretty easy to me. T-Hex is a 5 cost, so you'll probably need like Caitlyn 2, Loris 2, Vi 2. That's only 6, so I guess it's a reroll, right? Because Seraphine 2, you're still not going to have 9. Maybe good with the emblem, because if you have the emblem now, it's pretty easy to have all these 2-starred. And then another one 2-starred. Otherwise, you would have to reroll. It almost feels like T-Hex is like a Piltover emblem.
There's also Oriana as an unlock that helps with 9s.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's true. Okay, no. Yeah, you don't need emblem. Basically, like, if you're playing Piltover, it should be pretty easy to unlock T-Hex. Again, like, how useful these 1-star 5 costs are, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. My assumption is, like, because it's going to be easier to get 2-star 4 costs, you're just going to prioritize those over itemizing, like, the 1-star 5 costs. Pumpkinch, very straightforward Bilgewater. Bilgewater was the first video I posted for this. Really straightforward trait. Just play it the entire game. Silver Serpents gives you a second currency that scales up your Bilgewater units throughout the game. Pumpkinch is a reprint from set 6. You can feed him units, which of course cost gold every round, but when he gets kills, he gives you gold back and items as well. So, I have a fan favorite unit. Thresh. We already talked about Shadow Isles. Thresh himself is just a pretty standard unit. Bear we talked about as well. Zerath we talked about. The Hen. So the Hen is behind a hero augment. Not really that much to say about this guy. You just got to get the Zinjiao hero augment. And then Ziggs. Yeah, Ziggs is just like Yordle level 9 or Zon level 9, either one. Then you can get a Ziggs. Yeah, so I think that's all the unlockables. Let's see if there's any traits that I want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet. There's quite a lot of them, so I'll probably just go through traits next. But before I do that, any questions about unlockables? Okay, cool. Let's talk about traits. So I already talked about the 4 frontline traits. I think it's really, really, really important to know, like, again, like, Defender is Bastion, Warden is Protector, and then you have Bruiser and Juggernaut. It's just to be aware of that, like, you almost always want to be playing these, one of these traits, like 2-1. Yeah. Other than that, Quick Striker is back. If you'll have played the past few sets, almost all of these classes are reprints from the past few sets. Quick Striker is just like the attack speed trait. This is, I guess, you can think of this as Duelist from last set, or just Quick Striker from the set before. Slayer is like the AD lifesteal trait. This was also in the game 2 sets ago. Last set, I guess this would kind of be like Edgelord, but Edgelord also gave attack speed. Vanquisher is basically Executioner. Long Shot is Sniper. I mean, it's exact same as Sniper. Invoker is Prodigy, basically. One difference is Invokers gain more mana from all sources, so Invoker will scale with stuff like Shojin and Blue Buff, whereas Prodigy was really bad with Shojin. Because it was just like additive. Invoker like will multiply it. Gunslinger is just another AD trait. Disruptor, damage amp trait. It also makes enemies deal reduced damage. Yeah, I don't know. It's like pretty decent to splash 2 Disruptor if you can hit their backline. Reducing your opponent's damage by 10% is actually like really big. So you're able to proc this on your opponent's backline and splash it in. It's nice to have. And then Arcanist is basically just Sork. Yeah. Doesn't do the damage that Sork does, but in exchange it gives you more team-wide AP. Actually quite a lot, honestly. 18 team-wide AP for 2 Arcanists is quite a lot, and I think this is kind of what Mort is referring to when he says like this set you're going to be able to build more flexible boards, because a lot of like these 2-piece traits, like 2 Disruptor, 2 Arcanist, even like 2 Invoker, are going to be like pretty valuable. So a lot of the power is in the 2-piece traits, which means obviously if you're fitting a bunch of 2-piece, it's hard to play a huge vertical. Even Quick Striker, right? Like 2 Quick Striker, 15% team-wide attack speed is really, really, really good for a 2-piece trait. Even if you're not itemizing either of your Quick Strikers. Alright, regens. Bilgewater. Kind of already talked about this, but this is just like a really straightforward trait. You have a frontline and a backline trait pair, including your 4-cost carry. Fizz is also a Bilgewater unit, doesn't show up here. Darken. I think, yeah, we talked a little bit about how to unlock Aatrox earlier. Some of the other Darkens you can get through. There's an augment that turns a unit into a Darken with an artifact, and then there's the Zinjao augment we talked about. You're probably not going to see more than one Darken that often. Demacia, another pretty straightforward trait. There's a Defender trait pair. And then, yeah, Silas is a Defender and an Arcanist. So we sell these 3 units and end up playing them again with Silas. I'm not sure. We'll see. What does Demacia do? Gives you, I don't know, it seems like pretty generic combat power. Pretty cool effect though. Freljord also seems like pretty generic combat power as well. I think a lot of these traits, like the classes, are basically AD or AP, but a lot of the like regions or origins, they seem like it could be AD or AP. Like Freljord just gives you damage amp, so you can go like AD Freljord or AP Freljord. I like that a lot compared to like set 15, I guess, where some of them were more like one or the other.
About Freljord, and maybe you can dig into this or talk a little bit about your thoughts about it, but something I noticed is that they have, when I was reading the unit abilities, a lot of them interact with chill. Either they themselves chill or they like have a bonus effect when hitting chill things. So like there's clearly some dynamic there. I have no idea what it is, but like it would be interesting if I could get your take on that, or like how we should think about that kind of thing.
Yeah. I actually haven't read the units that much, but it does make it seem that the Freljord units are. Someone made a comment earlier about like some unit having to be played like in a trait, but yeah, it seems like I think Kitty, you mentioned the Ixtal units might be weaker on their own. That's actually what I would think about the Freljord unit, because I would think having them like help each other chill and proc chill, it's probably the failure units are just gonna be like stronger with each other.
Uh, can you clarify what chill does? Like, does it decrease attack speed or and slow their movement, or like what does it do?
Yeah, I believe chill as a keyword is 20% decrease attack speed or something like that. I don't know exactly, to be honest. But yeah, I think it
Pretty
like
sure you're
I think
right.
it decreases their attack speed. But
Yeah,
that's
20% is correct.
okay. Yeah, good question though. I guess on the flip side of that, right? Like since chill doesn't stack, maybe just playing like one frail yard unit to chill your enemy's team is also good. So, either way, yeah, I guess frail yard could be either way, where you could like play multiple frail yards so they can benefit off each other's chill, or just play one to get that utility that like doesn't stack. Ionia. So Ionia is the what's that trait? Is there one in this set that's different every game? There's not, right? Oh, there was Exotech in the other set, like 2 sets ago, where you would have to like check what it was at the start of the game, like whether you could get
This,
Hollow Bow or not. This is a little different because it's the same for every single person in the game.
this reminds me of Mirage from set 7.
Yeah. It's definitely like Mirage, from set 7, where it's like the same units, but the bonus it gives is different every game. The one I like to point out for sure is I guess two of them, Generosity and Enlightenment, are kind of like Econ Ionia. Transcendence, like a reroll Ionia, and then the other two are kind of like generic combat power. So I'm sure there'll be one of these that is like considered OP by the community. It might be. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be one where it's like, oh, the Ionia is this. Let's all try to force Ionia. I don't know what it is. Ixtal we talked about already. This is basically like the Crystal Gambit. Ixtal is kind of hard to hit because there's only one cost, one 2 cost, and one 3 cost. So you basically need exactly Kiana, Nico, Milio. I think Ixtal is extremely overpowered from my experience in playtest. So definitely look to hold Milio on PvE. I've played it. I've only played I played 6 games total. I found Ixtal in 2 of them, and both times I was able to get like the first time my cash out was 3 masterworks plus 2 completed anvils.
Oh my god.
And the second time I cash out was Tactician's Crown plus Radiant Thief Gloves. And I didn't feel like I did anything special. I mean, the only like I got it in not even that early, right? Like I got it in on 2-6. I mean, I could just show you what I took, right? Like, I just took Nico survives for 15 seconds. I have a 2-star Nico, so I just took that one. I got 20 shards. Next one I took 548 XP. So this is basically like exactly what you need to go level 7 on 3-2. So yeah, I went 7 on 3-2. Kind of killed my econ a bit. Only made 10 this round, but it's fine. Next one I took. I have an empty bench 4 rounds. I mean, again, like very easy to do this, right? So have an empty bench 4 rounds. Did that. Next one I took. Oh, I think I made a mistake on this one. I picked kill 20 enemies, but I think N3 rounds with 0 gold is like more consistent. Again, you do have to kill your econ, but considering like the size of the cash out you get, I think it's fine. Honestly, either one is fine. Like either way, I picked kill 20 enemies. I killed 19 over the next 3 rounds, so it kind of took one round longer than I wanted, unfortunately. Yeah, I killed 19 over the next 3 rounds, and then took one more round. Here I just picked have a full bench for 4 rounds, so like again, like really easy to do, pretty much guaranteed, obviously. So after that one, I cashed out on 5-3. But like I could have maybe even gone for another one after this. Like I'm still 42 HP. I could still go for like the next breakpoint. But yeah, I just cashed out here. I got a Radiant TG and a Tactician's Crown. I'll upload that full video to TFT coaching later tonight. Yeah, either way, if you find Milio, probably hold Milio. I would definitely lose Econ for it, because I think you're just going to get back like so much gold. Again, none of these units really synergize with each other, so there's a big cost for playing them. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I think this trade is extremely overpowered. Noxus is a summon trait. There's almost always a summon trait in every set. Actually, was there a summon trait in set 15? Oh yeah, mech. Yeah, so Noxus basically is like Mighty Mech. I don't remember the summon trait before then, but as far as I know, there's a summon trait every single set. It was Nitro, and then yeah, there's always a trait that puts an extra unit on your board. This time it's Noxus. Not too much to say about that, I think. Tilt over. I don't know exactly what the modules do, but I know like it's something that like just like heal your entire team or give your entire team attack speed. Or maybe give your Piltover units. I don't know exactly what they do, but we'll find out soon enough.
I think in Mordog's video he mentioned the 2-piece would affect the whole board, and the 4 and 6-piece would only affect Piltover units. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like
think.
that. Yeah. No, I like that a lot. It's kind of going into where maybe the set is gonna be more flex than I give it credit for, where you can play like a lot of different combinations of traits. We'll see. I'm still a little skeptical, but yeah. Shadow Isle we already talked about. I mean, Shadow Isle is designed to be like a not flexible trait. You need to start Viego at the start of the game to play this. Shrima, we talked about Shrima already. Void. Void had Rift Herald where you had to play Void for 8 rounds. We also just talked about Void as well. It's the one that's kind of like Exotech. You have different ones at the start of every game. I'm not sure if you can have different ones than other players in your lobby. I think you can, but I'm not sure. Whereas Ionia is going to be the same for everyone in the lobby. But yeah, I would think like at the very start of the game on stage 1, you want to check the Ionia and check your Void every single game, which is a little annoying, but you'll get used to it. There's not that much to do on stage 1 anyway. Yordle's a reroll trait. I have already uploaded a Yordle video to TFT coaching. Yeah, I mean 6 Yordle gives you 2 free rerolls per round. That's kind of a lot. So I think getting that as fast as possible if you want to play around Yordles. The 8-piece gives I think about like 10 gold per round. So I definitely think there's some sort of I think there's potential playing like fast 8 Yordles and then using that to fast 9. Especially because I think like throughout stage 4, 8 2-star Yordles, and you're just likely to have a lot of them 2-starred from the other things that Yordles give you. Just playing 8 2-star Yordles on stage 4, I feel like should be a pretty solid board. We'll have to see, but I suspect like 8 Yordle and to just pivot out of Yordle entirely might be good. And last one, Zon. I don't actually know anything about Zon yet. I did not play this trait or look at this trait at all during my 6 games of playtest. But yeah, it kind of just seems like an attack speed trait. So it's an origin, but yeah, it seems kind of like duelist almost, but as an origin. Do we have any of those in set 15? I don't think so. Okay, I think that's probably everything I want to talk about for now. Definitely happy to answer any more questions you have about set 16. But that should get y'all started with kind of what to expect. unlockables and what the traits are. I guess I will also say the way I like to learn the set is just like see what your opener is, and let's just say like I start the game with, let's just say like I start the game with like a 2-star Briar. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try to play Noxus. I'll just put all the Noxus units in my team planner, and then go from there. Like I'm willing to, I'm definitely still looking at the shop and willing to buy other units, but that's like kind of my baseline. You can also decide that like before the game even starts, honestly. But that's how I personally like to learn the set. And eventually you'll just play everything. Maybe you'll find something you really like. I mean, Yordle I think is really fun. You get a whole bunch of 3-stars. You get a ton of gold. Bilgewater also gives you like the secondary currency, which I think is really fun. Ixtal, obviously, cash out trait.
What's your overall feeling after playing it? Some like, does it feel like it's gonna be a good set or?
Uh, I think it'll be a good set. First of all, I think the set mechanic is extremely simple, even though there's so many champions. So there's not. I think like balancing fruits is difficult, right? Because I had to balance a champion's baseline, and then also the added layer of fruit, which makes like different champions scale differently. But they don't have to deal with that, so I think like balance inherently will be better.
I had a question about what you just said. So when you say it's simple, do you mean like there's less of does that mean like you're implying that there's like less of a knowledge check for like for the past two sets it was fruits and
I think it's going to be a lot less because like in set 15, like Gather Force Jinx was strong on day 1 of set 15, but like people didn't really figure it out. Like millions of players, right, did not figure it out until like weeks later. And then at that point it was like, well, do you know about it or do you not know about it? And eventually it got to a point where kind of like everyone in this call knows about Gather Force Jinx. But there's a period of time where it's like if you knew about Gather Force Jinx, you have a big advantage over the rest of the field. And you can argue that like just from TFT fundamentals, you can just from like TFT fundamentals, you can read what the fruit gives you and be like, okay, I estimate this to be like a 40% DPS increase, whereas most of these other ones are a 20% DPS increase. But that is just not that easy to do for anyone. I mean, that's something like I consider like I'm one of the best at it. I think in NA. I mean, definitely I'm one of the best at it, and I did not find Gather Force Jinx. I did not know about this until like everyone knew about it. It's just hard to do. I think that yeah. So basically, yes, I think there will be a lot less knowledge checks in this set. There are 40 unlockable units, and you'll have to know how to unlock them. But I think you'll learn. I think you'll learn very fast.
Okay, so like it's simple, but since there's 100 champions, do you think there's like more like memorization involved regarding like number of comps and how to play, or do you still think that it's like less memorization as well?
I think there will be more comps, but the fact that you don't have to memorize like what fruits go with those comps and how to tailor for those fruits will overall make it a lot less memorization. But yeah, I will say like a lot of the people internally at Riot, not just Mortdog, a lot of other people believe that this might unironically like be the best set they've ever released. I personally don't really like getting my hopes up like that. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll be good.
Anti-hype, huh?
I don't know. Like it's better to not expect too much, right? Then you won't be disappointed.
Have low
Yeah,
expectations. Be
yeah.
surprised.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
seems like
also
the balance should be easier.
yeah.
They've like balancing champions, traits, and items they've been doing for 16 sets. So.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. I think the balancing will be here. I also think generally, like, if you listen to like streamers like Reddit or Twitter, I think people's standards for balance is too high. Because a lot of people are saying like, oh, the world's meta is not very good, but the world's meta is. I mean,
It wasn't bad.
I think the world's meta is. I think it's the most diverse in the past like 8 sets. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, but if not, it's very very close. So I guess what I'm saying is like when I hear like community sentiment say the world's meta is not very good, I have heard that for every single world. So I think people's kind of expectations are too high, and like they kind of have like rose-colored glasses looking back at older sets. But yeah, I don't know. I personally thought set 15 was like the worst overall set out of all 15. Uh, but not by a lot. But yeah, I think like a lot of the internal writers think that set 16 might that's it. I will say from playing it, I do think it's like pretty fun with like just how many different options you have. Also, like I just think like the trait Bilgewater and Yordle that I mentioned are just really fun because like Bilgewater you're like constantly getting cash outs, and like Bilgewater you can force every single game. Like the moment you find one TF, you have a guaranteed Graves unlock. Then you need one Alawi, and you can already play 3 Bilgewater. Um, like Ixtal, I think like the cash out trade is really fun. I don't know how often you're going to be able to get it, but yeah. There's also much more augments next set than there are in the current set.
Oh, you mean there's more augments than normal?
Yeah, I think historically there have been about 200-ish per set. I don't know exactly, somewhere around there. I think next set I've heard there's 350. But yeah, I guess I'll take like any quick questions, but then I have to go pretty. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Ripple Overdrive is going to be guest coaching shortly after this TBE launches. Ripple has been just like a top player for a really long time. He's not as well known as like some of the as maybe like I don't know, maybe someone like Preceven, but I think like in terms of qualifications, he's like just as good in terms of like actual like performance results. So look out for
Cool.
that, and yeah, see y'all.
Thanks, Asa.